Okay, in this video, I'm going to show you how to uh, take a domain that you've purchased from a domain registrar like Namecheap or GoDaddy or wherever, set up a hosting account someplace, install a fresh install of WordPress, and then build out the site and set up an SSL certificate, and then install Elementor as your page builder so you can rock and roll and build out a site. So without further ado, let's dive in. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to purchase a domain. I've actually gone ahead and done that. I purchased it through Namecheap. Here's the domain I purchased. I have it in my account. So that's step one. So that is now done. Okay, now we're going to set up a hosting account. I use Host9. I have a reseller 2 plan. I can have up to like 100 domains for like $30 a month. You can go with like a $20 a month plan, get 19 domains, and then you can find one person who needs their site hosted, or two, charge 10, $20 a month. It pays for itself. This is what I've been using for years. All my sites on it, many others are on it, friend sites, and it works fine. And their tech support is really great. So let's go create a hosting account. Okay, so now we're in hosting management. We're going to create a new account. We're going to take this domain and we're going to create that domain. We're going to call this, I don't know, Kent21. I'll use my email for contact for now. I'm going to create a password. And then we're going to choose location. If you want to have different IP addresses, you want to choose a different location. I just going to choose East. We're going to create. So that is the next step, creating a reseller account. So then we're going to grab the IP address when Host9 creates the hosting account, and then we're going to go over to Namecheap, and we're going to input 2A records. So this should be done by now, which it is. We're going to grab this IP address. This is where the site's going to reside, the contents of the site. We're going to go over to Namecheap, to the domain registrar. This could be GoDaddy. Go over to advanced DNS settings, or whatever it is in the you've got, and we're going to add 2A records. First one's going to be www, and I set to 5 minutes, and then I save it. And then the second one is going to be another A record, and that's going to be the @ symbol. Oops, and to that IP address, 5 minutes. Okay, that's step 2. That's another step done. Okay, now we're going to go over to back to Host9, where the site is hosted. We're going to go into cPanel, which stands for Control Panel, and then we're going to install WordPress. So let's come down here. We're going to view domain. We're going to go to cPanel. You're going to go to find WordPress. It's at the bottom. It's always at the bottom. Here's WordPress. We're going to install it now. Now we're not going to do HTTPS because we've not created an SSL certificate. We're using the latest version of WordPress. We're going to remove this WP. I've referenced that here as well. So we're going to do this and this. We're going to create login credentials next. Okay. I think I just did that, didn't I? This is just temporary. I leave this alone. That's it. That's all I do. So it's just literally, it's making sure you're on the newest version of WordPress, which it always does. Make sure it's HTTP. You remove the WP, and then create username and password. I always create this at the site level when I get there. And then I'm going to install. Now, by the time this is done, the work done over here, which took 5 minutes, it should update. Hopefully it does. It doesn't always. We'll find out now. So we're going to click on this, see if WordPress is installed yet. And we're getting a weird looking view of this. Gotta love it. Well, let's try it in incognito. Maybe it's a caching issue. Okay, admin, and then what was the password? See if it looks different over here. Yep, it's a caching issue. All right, we're gonna have to bounce back and forth. Okay, so now we have created login credentials. We're gonna create and delete sample post page. So those 3 things we're gonna do. We're gonna delete a plugin, we're gonna delete a sample page, and a sample post. If I forget, we don't need that. We don't need this. Okay, first things first, we're going to go to plugins here. We're going to delete Hello Dolly. Hopefully there's no more issues with the site. We're going to come over to the sample post. Hello world, we're going to trash that. And then we're going to come over to pages and we're going to trash the sample page. I leave the privacy policy in draft mode. Those are those steps. We've done that. Install flexible SSL for Cloudflare plugin. So we're going to copy that. We're going to come over to the domain. We're going to add a new plugin. So this is what's going to allow the Cloudflare SSL to work properly. It's real simple. You just install the plugin, you activate, it's done. Install, activate, that's all you got to do. Okay, that's that. We've installed the plugin and we've activated it. Install and activate, I should probably say, to be more clear. Sorry about that. Now let's create a Cloudflare account. Let's go back and grab this domain because we're going to need it. Oops. I'll grab from here. I don't need that anymore. So we're going to grab this domain. And now we're going to come over to Cloudflare. So basically, if you are hosting your domains at Host9 like I do, if you want an SSL from them, it's like $30 a year. Cloudflare basically saves you money. I don't spend any money on SSL certificates. And I've got I got like 40 to 45 domains. So, oops, I'm logged in as me, so let me log out. I was doing something earlier. Let us sign up. So we're going to go info at domain. And then we're going to create a password and create account. And then we're going to add the domain here, add site. Now, let's go back to notes. We created an account. We added the domain just now. We're going to choose free account and copy the name servers. Let's go to that. So we're going to choose the free account here. This is where they're not going to pay any money. Continue. And now you're going to grab the name servers. What the name servers do, they basically control where that, where Namecheap grabs the SSL from. So we're going to come down. Don't worry about all this detail. This is the IP address that I took from Host9. Okay, if I was to go back over to the account, you'll see 65. That matches those two, so we know that's working. Let's just hit continue. Okay, here's our name servers. We're going to copy this one. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back over. We chose free account. We're doing this name service. We're going to add them to Namecheap. So now we're going to come back over to the domain level, and then we're going to basically install. So we're not using base. We use custom DNS. We're going to use the first one, and then we're going to grab the second one. Save. Now we're done with Namecheap. Okay, so we've done that. Okay, so now it's just the settings within Cloudflare. So let's hit done, check name servers. So let's get started. Automatic HTTPS reset rights, always on. Are we always going to use HTTPS? Yes, turn it on, save it. I always check all these. How about we just add that? Let's auto minify all, Bratley on, done. Okay, the notes are all there. So Bratley on, finish. Okay, check name servers. It's going to take a while. Now we're done. We can log out of Cloudflare. We're done with that. Okay, so we've done this, we've done this, we've done this, we've done this. So now you always want to do the SSL right away when you buy a domain and you set up hosting and stuff, so everything works. So now we're going to do everything on the site level. Okay, so let's go over to the site. I don't think I could do it from here. Let's try it again, see if it cleaned up. If not, we'll do it from incognito. Yeah, it's just a caching issue. All right, so we're over here. Okay, I made a note here, install Updraft Plus. Okay, oops, we don't need that. We just need this. So we're going to add another plugin, Updraft Plus we're going to add. Updraft Plus is where how you back up the website. So it's just you can usually it'll connect to your Google Drive or Dropbox or whatever service you use. I'll just show you how this works. So press here to start. Okay, we're not going to back it up now. Let's go to settings. I'd say do it weekly, and you want to keep like the last 4 weeks, 2 to 4 weeks of back. You could do 3. Doesn't So we do weekly. Some clients update daily, so we do daily, but it stores a lot of data. I'm just going to connect to my Google Drive. All you do is you click on Google Drive, you hit save, and then you have to authorize your Google Drive account. And because I'm incognito, I think that should work. Allow. So I'm going to allow Updraft Plus to access my account. Some people get all freaked out about that. I really don't care. They see everything we're doing anyway, guys. Don't think they don't. Okay, so that's done. So once you're done building out like the home page or the site, you want to back it up, and then basically it'll back up every week. So I'd be backing this up manually every day. So come in here every day. You make changes to a site, back it up every day. Make sure you got a backup copy. You don't want to lose it. Okay, that's all you got to do there. So we've done that. Now we're going to install Elementor header and footer, and Astra free. I'm not going to worry about Astra today. Not a big deal. There's a paid plugin as well. We'll do these steps first. So let's go over to Elementor. So plugins. We're going to add Elementor. Now there's a paid version as well. The difference between the paid version and the free version, the paid version of Elementor is like $300 a year, and you can have unlimited license, sites. The thing is, you don't get. How do I say this? With Elementor free, you don't get contact forms that you would put on a website. But there's third-party plugins. You can go to plugins and go to like contact form 7, or just type in forms. And you'll find a free one. You don't need to spend the money on Elementor Pro to get contact forms, but you just got to go through the settings to do that. Okay, so we've installed Elementor. Okay, we're going to install Elementor header footer. What that does is it allows you to update the footer across one location for the entire website. So we're going to do that as well. Elementor, I think it's called header. That might be it. Install now. I'm not going to activate it because I don't have any pages yet. So that's pretty much that. Astra, I always use Astra. Like I said, it's paid, but I do use it because I like the way the interface works, the way it looks when you go to customize. I'm used to using it differently here, and I like it better. I'd recommend Astra. It's like $40 a year, I think it is. That's about the only expense you really have to incur, but you could live without it if you want to. It's just my personal preference. So now let's go over to settings. Okay, let's set general to HTTPS. So let's go over to settings, general. So SSL may be live, it may not be live. So I'm going to rename this here. So, Kentucky Real Estate Services, professional real estate services throughout Kentucky. But what I was going to do is add the S. That's really what I wanted to focus on. There's not going to be any new users. You can default it to admin because you should be the only person. Date format, I always leave the way it is. I leave the date to Monday. Oh, the start date is Monday. It's going to log me out. It might log me out. The SSL hasn't gone live yet. So I've added SSL and it's not live yet. So I'm going to go to advanced. I can't see the bottom of this. All right, I'm going to pause the video, come back and finish it. Okay, we're back. So the HTTPS took, so it's there. Okay, it's all there. Again, I leave the dates and the week start time date to Monday. That's all done. So we do this. Go to setting generals, change general, change permalink to post name. Permalinks, change to post name right here. We're going to save this. As far as other settings go in writing, you're not going to change anything here. I don't really worry about post categories and stuff until I actually have a blog for a site. Reading is not going to change. Never turn on discourage this. It could throw off things. If you get the site done quickly, you don't need to do this. Discussion, the only thing I would say here is you might want to just read through the settings because, if you were to have a blog, you don't want necessarily anybody to comment. You have, all these spammers trying to spam the site. There is a plugin called Disable Comments. I will add plugin Disable Comments if you want to have a blog. And don't all right, so we did this. Okay. Manually approve comments and stuff, so nothing posts. But you just go through the settings. It's all common sense. You're not going to mess with any of this other stuff. Permalinks is there. We're all set. So now we're going to go back over to pages. If I recall, it says create a home page. So we're going to do that. We're going to add a home page. So you're simply going to say add new. You're going to name your home page. This defaults, I hate it personally. I'm going to click here. I'm going to take it out of so I can see it. I'm going to put home here. You could have a featured image here for like Facebook purposes. Page attributes is important. I should probably mention this. I do. Page attributes to Elementor full page. Full width is full width of the screen. It could be canvas. You'll have to play with it and see which one you want, but you want to have it because otherwise it's going to look like this when you have a published page and it won't look right. So you want to do that. Featured image, etc. We're going to publish the home page. It's going to go live right away. So now if we go to the home page, you'll see it just says it's got the navigation bar and some basic information here, recent comments and stuff. So that's that. All right. So now we're going to add a homepage template. So a lot of people get hung up here. So now, let's go do one more thing. Reading. We're going to change one thing. We're going to go. Let me make a note of this before I do this. Settings, general, reading. Choose your home page. Okay, so what does that mean? That means you come under settings, not general, I'm sorry. This is settings, reading, choose your home page, okay? So your posts are going to go to the home page. So basically you want to have a home page that shows up. If you have a blog page, you would go into pages and add a blog page, and then that would populate here, okay? So this is the only thing I would say you want to change is have a home page. Hit save changes. So now when you go to the domain, if I was just to go to the home page, it's going to take, it's just the home page. So let's go back to dashboard, go back to pages. Now I always right click and open in a new tab because I might want to have access to this screen and then work on the new page. So basically, now you don't see Elementor here, right? It doesn't say, people always get messed up with that too. Oh, you know what? One more thing I want to do as I'm seeing it. Before we do that, change user to nickname. What does that mean? I'm seeing it says admin here. So if you ever did a blog post or something, it's going to say admin. So what I always like to do is I like to come into users. Okay, and I'm going to edit the user. Now this is an admin. Okay, what I do is I change the nickname to, Kentucky Home Realty, or change it to whatever it needs to be. And then it'll grab it here. So any post that goes on the site, change this to S as well. Update. Okay, so now you have, and if you want to change, if you want this to be your email address, you can change this and you'll get an email pretty much right away, and then you'll be able to confirm it and it'll show up there. So that's that. So let's go back over to pages. We changed the nickname. Let's go over to the pages. You don't see Elementor yet, and there's a reason for that because you haven't done anything. So let's click on Edit Page. All right. Elementor discussion. You can. I wouldn't allow comments. Featured image. If you want something to show up on, if you shared it on Facebook, it would have an image show. So now here's where it says Edit with Elementor. It doesn't say it on the previous page. So we're going to click Edit with Elementor. Okay, this is where people usually get hung up. So we're going to create a homepage template. I'm going to check that off. Oh, I did do that here. Look at that. I'm a step ahead. Okay, so there's two ways you can build. This is like your navigation bar at the top of the site. We don't have a logo or anything like that yet, okay? But there's two ways of doing this. If you just want to go out and build something on your own, if you want it to be just completely wide, you can choose 1 or 2 elements side by side, 3. Like you might want to have one of these for your footer, right? On the footer element from that plugin. So, you could do whatever you want here. You can build out and add a page, right? You could do it this way. What you should know about Elementor, like this is a 1 column wide or, thing. So this would go full wide. If you want to add another column, now you have 2. Now you have 3. You could do it that way, or you can just pick 3, right? You can if you right click on this, you can delete them too. So it's really nice the way Elementor works. It's all right click. So this is considered a section. So you can right click on it. You could, if you were to use this section on multiple pages, you could save it as a template. You could duplicate it and then copy it down below. If it's like a call to action with a button, you'll see this. You can edit the section. So we're on the section level. So let's say hypothetically, that's why I talk about right click. You click on these buttons, and now you're editing the section. Okay. So maybe you want to add a heading, like an H1 tag. Okay. Right now it's an H2. You change it to H1 here. You could center it. Okay. So, you can add Kentucky Real Estate Services, right? Let's just do that. But you don't like the size of it, right? You want it to be an H1. You can do this way. I don't do this. I never ever do this. The way I do it is I edit in style. So I come under the color. I'm going to change the color to whatever I want. Let's say black. Topography is where you change, font types. Okay. Like I use Questrial a lot. I like it. All right. You could, you change the size here. So let's say you want it to be, 60. Perfect. Okay. Weight. Okay. Uppercase, lowercase, etc. Style could be italics. It could be underlined. You guys can mess with this. You just need to know where it is. Line height, distance, spacing. You could make this as however you want. Right. So that's how a topography is. Text shadow. You can blur it. I mean, there's so much. Element is awesome like this. But you just got to know there's 3 components to every element. Okay, now this is the heading element, right? You can right click and you can duplicate a heading element and make duplicate this and make an H2 and change it a little bit, right? If you wanted to add an image next to this, you could right click, add a new column, right? Then you click on these buttons up here and you could drag an image over here, and then you can upload the image, right? Just like it, So I'm just going to delete this because I would want this to be full width, right? Maybe that's the only. Maybe I want to have an image on here. So let's say this is our H1 tag, right? We're in the heading element, but there's a section. The section is like the bigger piece of it. So you want to click on the buttons to get to the section element. So let's say you wanted to make the background. You can go under Style, Background Type. You can upload an image or change it to a color. See, I can change it to a color, or you can just upload an image. Now, upload or go to Media Library. This site has no images, so you could upload. I don't even think I have. Maybe I have an image on my homepage. I do, of a hike I did with the kids. So what I want to mention from an SEO perspective is whatever shows up in the like you always rename your photo before you upload it, and then you copy this from the title and put it in the alt text so Google sees it. So now we have an image that you don't really see it, but it's there. So this is where you come back to layout, height, minimum height. Okay, don't worry about that. You can adjust how tall. 650 for like a header image, let's say, might be good. You can also look at it in mobile mode. Okay, desktop. Now it duplicates. I get that, so don't worry about that. That's under layout. So you go under minimum height. You can adjust this stuff as well. But what I always do is I come over to style. Position is always center to get the image centered. It can scroll. Like a lot of people want it fixed, or you can use this option where the image doesn't move. That kind of looks nice, right? So it just depends on the person. I'll leave it like this for now. Repeat, no repeat. So, and then we're going to change this to cover. So that would be the entire image. Now that's dark, right? Now you might want to make this image darker. So let's say let's go back to the element, right? We were in the section, editing the section, but let's go edit the element, the heading element. Let's say you don't see it. You can come under color and choose a different color. You can slide this and choose whatever color you want. I use white. It stands out better. So now that I just fixed the heading element, let's go back to this section. So now I have a good image, right? But let's say you want an overlay. What that means, it's going to darken the image. So you can click on here, pick a color, whatever you want. I'll do a dark color. And then opacity, you can adjust the darkness, right? Maybe like that would look good. Okay, it looks good. So then you click update. That's how you save. And then you can click on here and then view the page. So that just gives you an idea how to see. So there you go. Looks nice. You can just build this free, so you can edit the page and go back to the page level, or go back to edit Elementor. Okay. Now again, maybe you want to use this as another. So you right click and hit duplicate. So now you have two of them. Right click and delete it. Right? Maybe you want to right click here and you want to duplicate that. And maybe you make this one the H2 and then you want to size it down, right? And you make it, let's size this down to 45, and maybe it would be realtors, and then you duplicate it, you know what I mean? You put another section, you get the idea. Okay, so that's one way to do everything, okay? The other way to do things would be using this folder. Pages, Elementor has its own library, so if you just click home, it'll show you all these pre-built home pages. So let's say you own your own digital agency and you want to have a home page. You can insert this page. I have to connect to my library. I keep forgetting about that step. Give it a second. It's loading. Now it should take a second here. Hopefully no error messages. All right, so now I'm going to update. So I basically just imported an entire home page. So view page. Here's a whole website now. How cool is that? Now I go into Elementor, and then you can use this template. Now it's on your site. You could change the background color, right, of the section. Maybe you don't like the gray. You come under the section, right, under overlay, because they used an overlay color. They used a gray. Maybe you want to use a red, right? Maybe the filter is not so much. Maybe it's a light, right? Maybe you don't want red. Maybe you want blue, right? So maybe you want green. Maybe you don't want one. You want it just to be white or black, right? You can mess with this. You can, add a new column next to it. You can shift this over in size-wise, right? Maybe you want to have text on this side. You would add a text box here. Or maybe you want to have a video, like a YouTube video. You can put a YouTube video there. And you would click here and you would add your YouTube video right here, link to it, right? You want to change out this is a testimonial element, so you could change out the image, you can change everything out, but it gives you a template to work from. Okay, maybe you want to add another section to the page, and you wanted to add some text over here, and then you wanted to add a video over here, or maybe it was and you can repurpose these and put them wherever you want. So now let's say hypothetically, let's say you have a master services section, like you would add another column. You can duplicate this and pull it over here, and then you can duplicate this and move it over here. All right, you want to do a third column, you can add a third column. So if you have 3 services or 4 services or 5 services, you can do this. You want to add a button so people click, learn more, go to that services page. You can come in here and edit the button, center it, add a link to it, change, to learn more. You might want to change the colors of it, so you can come under typography and change the font. You could change the background color to, black, whatever color. Your hover color would be different than, background color. Maybe you want it green. So when you hover, say we choose green, the hover, you want to change the hover color to black. So it's, you mess with it. Border radius means you can round these corners out more. So you would, you can see it's making the button more round. We can make it more square. It's rectangular, right? There's no limit to what you can do. If you want to add code to a site, as an example, HTML, you would click, and let's say you wanted to add code, a Google Map code to a site, right? Let's put it, I don't know why it didn't take. You would copy the code right in here, and the map would, so as an example, if I went to maps, and I'm pretty much done here, guys, but this is important to show you this. Let's just go type me. I'm in Newport Richey, Florida. I have my own share, embed a map. I'm going to copy the HTML. So let's say I want to put this like a location on a page. Boom, it's going to populate the map. If it's too big, you can come in here and change out the width of it. Let's say 400 by 350. You can change the size of it. Maybe on this side, maybe it would be a section like this, and then you can drag this here. This is what I do a lot of times. I would add a heading here and call it, our service area. Maybe it's an H3 tag. I would center it. I would change the color to black. I'm probably gonna now add some text underneath it. Oops. And this would say, we proudly service the greater Newport Richey and Gulf Coast region, right? Contact us today for a free quote. We also service the following cities with a colon, and I might list a whole bunch of cities, and then those would be, I would clone this home page as a location page, and then I would change out the map to that city and change out reference, and then I could link these to the home page. So that would be like a home page. So you could either create your own elements, you create your own, or upload a template, right? Let's go back. I think that was it on the notes. Change site directory to new home. We did that. What else? Let's go back to, we're going to go under plugins. We're going to go under the header, footer. So building out footer is important, so I just activated that. It comes under appearance. So header, footer blocks. So this is building out a footer. So we're going to create a new footer. We're going to call it a footer. call it a footer. Display on entire website. User roles, I make admin because I'm the only one to build. Enable layout for, yep, publish. So now we have a footer. And now we just need to edit it. Oh, I didn't title it, but we have to create it. So let's just say I want it to be, 4 wide. So, and I want it to be black. So I'm going to click on the section like I did before, and I'm going to do background type, and we're going to make it black. You can do whatever you want. You can do grays. Some people do, I'm just going to do a dark color. And then we're going to say, we're not going to use headings, we should use text. So maybe this would be, the phone number, 800, could be the phone number. And then I'm going to click a link, and add the link to the phone number, right? This I might make white. You could do that here, make it bold. You can highlight here and make this white so it shows up, right? Now what's cool is I can duplicate this and then open it over here, and this could be, address. And I can change out the address, and then I can duplicate it again. And I can make this, Facebook link. It could be a Facebook link. It could be YouTube link. It could be hours. It could be a sitemap. It could be, services, right? And you can have links. You can create links here and then, recolor these to whatever color you want, right? And then the last one, could be that map, right? And then you would grab HTML. Now, obviously here, it's really tall, so we're just going to make the height, let's say 150 by 250. Let's see what that does. That's fine. But the color background, we got to make it black because it looks like crap like that. Right? Update. So that is now you can edit that. So if we were to go look at the website, you also see the SSL certificate is there. So if you come to the footer, you'll see there's your footer. Oh, one more thing we should do. Go to my site. I'm going to grab my copyright on the bottom. Okay. Let's come back over to appearance and go under header. Footer blocks. I never named this, so let me name this. Footer. Update. Edit. So what I would also do is I would add a bottom. I'm going to make this black. And then we're going to add a text box. And then we're going to put in text here. And then we're going to change this to white. And we're going to center it. So there. So this becomes part of your footer now, right? So now if you go back to the home page of the site, you'll find, okay, now we can talk about logos, but you get the idea. So there's a map. So that's how you do footers. You can do service sections, everything. I mean, honest to God, I think Elementor rocks. As far as logos go, I think I still have an account with placeit.net. What I like to do, I always, like I said, I use Astra, so I would recommend Astra. You can make do without it. I mean, people do all the time. If we go under Appearance Customize, this is where you can add your. I always delete these other themes because they always have to update. I just always delete them. So now we're going to be under Customize. So we're going to see Global Settings, Site Identity here. So we're not going to want to display this information at the top. And then a site icon is like what you see up here, the WordPress symbol. So you can make one. What I always do is I go over to favicon generator. It's called a favicon. Favicon. I don't know what they call it. And I think it's this one. No, that's not it. Maybe it's this one. No, I think it's this first one actually. This one with the. Yep, this is the one I use. So choose file. This is not. There's no notes on this. Just you can make notes of this. We'll delete that one. So let's just use this image. Okay, so you're gonna upload the image. Create favicon. What did I grab? Well, my battery's going to go soon. Download the favicon. So I'm going to get a zip file. All I ever do is I grab the Apple 180 by 180 file and I rename it before I do it. So where is it? That one. Actually, I didn't even need to open it. So, I would rename it My Kentucky Okay, so there's that image. So what I would then do, I have my favicon. So what I would do is I would select site icon. I'm going to upload it. It should be on the desktop right now. There it is. And then I renamed it, right? So the name is in the title. I always move it to the alt text so Google picks it up. I'm not going to crop it. And I'm going to hit, actually, I'm not going to publish yet. Place it. Hopefully I can do this real quick. So I think I have an account here. It's like $15 or $16 a month. It's a pretty good service. I've made a lot of logos off this. They're pretty decent. And their site is slow. Well, I don't need to do this. You basically go in here and you can create a logo, okay? And then you rename it before you upload it, and then you make sure the dimensions are right. Dimensions, you pick the dimensions, or you change the dimensions. I'm sorry. The dimensions I always make like 200 by 80 or something like that. So when you upload the image, it should be like 200 by 80. It says 512 by 512 here. Or no, that's site icons. But I always do like 200 by 90 or something like that. This way it's always the right size. So I'm gonna hit publish. You can see here it is. The favicons already on the site. So if I was to go to the website, I haven't changed the logo because I didn't bother building it. You guys can go get placeit.net and use that. So you'll see it should update the favicon. It was just there a second ago. Come down the footer, you'll see I've done all that. You can edit all that stuff as you want. And there you go. There's the favicon. Here is our meta title, our page description, etc. And that's pretty much how we build out a WordPress site. So it's real simple. Now, obviously, the last step you would do is you would go into Updraft Plus and you would back up the site. So come under Settings, Updraft Plus, and then you would hit Save. This site's obviously not very big because I just created it. You just hit click back up now and it backs up automatically to wherever you chose, Dropbox or Google Drive. What else? Is there anything else you could mess with? blog posts, pages, appearance, widgets. I don't use widgets ever anymore. I use this. Widgets are good for like footers, but I don't use it. I do everything through Elementor, and I just change. Oh, the menu. That's the last thing I should show you. So let's say you have. Let's create a services page. I'll just have 2 pages. We have 2 pages. So you want to create a menu, right? So we're going to come up here under appearance menus. Okay, so the navigation bar, right? So you have to create a menu. So you're going to call it primary or main or whatever main. Make it the primary menu, and then you're going to create menu. Now you're going to come over here to pages, view all pages. You only have 2 pages. This one was edited with Elementor. The services is not yet. We're going to add to menu, and then here you go. So you could indent these, right? So like if you had a services page, and then you had service 1, 2, and 3, you would indent services 1, 2, and 3. You could have an about, a contact page here. A custom link would be like, this would be a pound, or no. If you want it clickable, you could say services, where they couldn't click on the nav bar on services. They could only click on the sub navigation, right? Let's say you wanted to do, the Google review link. You would put the Google review link here, and I'll put a pound symbol for now because it's not. I would say review us, and add to menu, right? So now I hit save menu. So I look at the site. Home services review us, and this could be non-clickable. Like this could be non-clickable, but the ones below it could be, and this could be a link to their GMB, to their Google business listing, to get more reviews. And that's how I build out a WordPress website. I have what I've done is I have a template now that I have, and I can basically build out a site in 15 minutes flat. Literally, I can do all this. I've timed myself down to maybe like 17 minutes, maybe 17 minutes to do all this, and I have a templated site that I can use and start changing things out. So hopefully that helps you. If you have any questions about this, please let me know. See ya.